life doesn't stop when the workday ends. On True HR Beyond the Office, Shannon Clark-Johnston tackles topics that affect our lives in and out of the workplace, with conversations on mental health, reinvention, self-empowerment, and more. We share actionable insights to inspire meaningful growth. Join us for candid insights and guidance to help you build resilience, create balance, and thrive with confidence in all areas of your life.
This episode's packed with so much insight, purpose, and energy that, believe it or not, everyone in the studio got so caught up in it, we forgot to hit record for the first 10 minutes. Yes, seriously, that's how good this conversation was. We're talking about all things personal branding, core values, and how to distill who you are down into a single powerful word. It's bold, it's practical, and it's led by someone who's made a career out of helping people and companies get radically clear on how they show up in the world. That person is Rich Keller. After 25 years shaping iconic brands like Nabisco, Kraft, Cadbury, and Godiva, Rich walked away from the corporate life to become a speaker, brand strategist, and catalyst for personal transformation. He's a TEDx speaker, a Wharton MBA, and he's on a mission to impact 1 million lives, one word at a time. So even though you're jumping into the middle of our chat, you won't miss a beat. Let's get into it.
That's like karma.
Wait, I said,
whoa.
I said, no, I didn't mean that. I totally changed my tune.
Did I say TEDx? I meant FredX. Yeah, no, I don't.
She did my program. 6 weeks later, she texted me, "You have a minute?" And she invited me.
Wow.
I said, I didn't apply. She goes, "We don't accept applications. We seek people out." And I said no at first. And she said, "Rich, you are going to be in that red dot in 6 months. Forget it. I'm not taking no." And it was the most unbelievable 6 months of my personal development. The hell I went through and the pain I went through to get this platform solidified was the best thing that ever happened to me.
You know, I do just want to go back to what you were saying about having so much information in your head. Yeah. Because I think I see this a lot in professionals who are, let's say, mid to late career. And they do a lot of amazing things, but they don't know why. It's just become so ingrained. Yeah. Right? So really great advice to sort of just go away and think about it is, what did you learn from that process, and what would you recommend to someone else who's struggling with that to say, I want to start a business, but I don't even know how I would tell someone to do X, Y, Z?
Yeah. Well, first of all, they should determine their one word core value.
Right.
They're giving
we're going to talk about that. Yeah.
But I will say the best piece of advice I can give somebody is move and improve. I mean, you and I are in a coaching program together, and you got to get the reps in, go out, get on the stage. I flopped on stage. I would listen to what people were saying. I'd come home, what worked, what didn't work, what do I need to add? And the way I say it is we're afraid. I had no confidence. Yeah. I gave it away for free.
Well, because it's not what you did for many, many years. This is totally different.
I did it on products, but now I'm doing it on humans.
Right.
Do you really care about my son's story? And I started to understand the audience cares when, I got to get my kid into college as well. Can you help me? And I started understanding that your story matters when you tell the audience that they matter. And that's the concept of my one word. It's the thread. I'm a catalyst. It's the thread to tell my story about why I can help you catalyze yourself down to a word. No one cares about my cancer story. Nobody cares about where I went to college. They care how I became a catalyst, my word. Well, maybe if I knew my word, boom, now let's talk. Now all of a sudden, so I started just going out and doing, and I continue to do. I don't have all the answers now. I still have Adam's apples in my throat when I get on stage. But when I walk off the stage, what worked, what didn't work, and what do I need to improve upon? And I still continue to do that.
Just keep doing it. Oh, and what's interesting to me, so you've revealed your one word is catalyst. It's also on your shirt. Tough guess. But your word is almost your program, right? So it's like your word is that you help other people to use their one word as a launching point, a launching pad into their own. So talk a little bit about that. And I know I don't want you to give away your program anymore because you've obviously got past that. But where do you start with someone? And or what should a listener think about for themselves to really drill down and define that one
it's
word?
A great question. Okay, there's 3 questions that everybody, entrepreneurs all the way down to high school students, because I work with high school, college, business leaders, entrepreneurs. 3 questions you have to answer in order to win.
Okay.
Question 1 is, what problem are you solving? Question 2 is, how are you solving the problem? And question 3 is, why are you the person that can solve the problem?
Okay.
Number 3 is always your one-word core value. Okay. Question 3. Question 2, how is your differentiator? What do you want to be known for? And number 1 comes from the consumer. So let me give you an example.
Yeah.
I challenge all my clients to answer those 3 questions in 1 word.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So question 1 for me is, what problem am I solving? Identity. Question 2, how am I solving the problem? I allow hyphens in my 1 word because I own my platform.
You can do what you want.
The differentiator for me is 1 word. And number 3, why am I the person that can do it? Because I'm a catalyst. I catalyze you down to a word to solve your identity. You go from the bottom up. So I catalyze you, how, my 1-word platform, so that I can solve your identity.
And what, how, and why? What, how, and why?
What problem are you solving? How are you solving it? And why are you the person?
Why are you? Okay.
And I'm catalyzing you down to 1 word for your identity, because what you give away to the world is your core value in 1 word. That's who you are, not what you do.
Okay.
The world tells us that what we do is who we are. We're conditioned.
That's right.
Exactly. It's my story. 3 times throughout my career, I lost my job, and my wife would say, how are you? I'm worthless. Nobody wants me. Nobody called me. Nobody wants to speak to me because I don't have a job. I don't have an identity.
Yes.
And I realized from my son's story, from the career I had where I helped brands discover their identity, your identity is in who you are. That drives what you do, not the other way around.
Oh my gosh, I love this, because I remember when I first started my company, so I had been a head of HR for like 12 years, VP or CHRO or whatever it was, and I went to a networking function as a consultant.
Yeah.
And I felt so weird.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not introducing myself. Like, who am I?
That's right.
I have this company no one's ever heard of before. I'm not working for, well, I was with several pharma company, and it did feel really weird. But I'm sure you would agree, it's been such an amazing growth point in my life to realize what you just said. I'm so much more than that. That's not my identity. And I think that was part of what burned me out of it to begin with, right?
I used to go to network events when I wasn't working, and I would say, oh my God, I hope they don't ask me about what I do. So everybody says, in all fairness, oh, I do consulting. Hi, I'm Rich Keller. I do consulting. Oh, what do you consult on? Various things, because we can't admit, instead of saying, no, I'm a catalyst, I disrupt people to evolve their identity from what they do to who they are. What opportunities do you have?
Yeah.
It changes the game. And now I'm not expecting overnight that people are going to go, boom. But what I am saying is we are more than what we do. So I give another example. I worked with a client once who was devastated after not being a CEO. And the person said, I wasn't invited to the Super Bowl this year. And I went last year, and I said, you were invited because of what you did as the CEO. You're not the CEO anymore, but you're not worthless.
Right.
You just weren't invited to the Super Bowl.
Right.
That's it. And people wake up and go, Rich, you're right. And everybody knows deep inside we're right.
Yeah.
But I took action and said, who you are drives what you do. So let me help you discover who you are. And that becomes the compass to go do things that align with who you are. So if I'm a catalyst and I don't do things that disrupt, I'm never going to be happy. I'm not going to build a financial future that's robust. But if you put me in situations that allow me to disrupt, catalyze, simplify, I'm going to be really much happier.
Right. It gives you like the confidence, I think, to just say, this is what I'm about. And I had a recent sort of similar episode where I was speaking with someone, and, I'm a planner. I'm a goal setter. And so for coaching that I provide, it is very like, here's a tool, here's a worksheet, let's get a plan. It's very much, it's not, I would say, a traditional coaching model where we're just kind of having a lot of conversation. And I didn't realize that. And when I leaned into that, and it's like, no, I am a results-driven coach, it felt so much more comfortable, because coaching can be kind of nebulous, right? Like everyone's a coach these days.
Yeah.
But when it aligns with who you really are, you could talk about it forever.
I work with a lot of coaches, and question 2, how? You got to brand number 2.
Yeah.
What do you want to be known for? You can't just say, I do coaching. Oh, I help people lose weight.
Right.
Number 2, how are you solving the weight loss problem? Name your program. Like literally, if you call it the flip rubble bubble method and say it 100 times, that's what my wife always laughs about. She's like, I'm amazed that people say you're a catalyst who does one word. I go, that's what I'm putting out there.
Right.
And something as simple as I do a daily a word of the day. And people are like, why do you do that? Because I want to solidify that I'm the one word Jen.
Right.
So when I put things out, a quote, one word love, one word like, I'm doing it because I want to solidify that I can help people, anybody get to their word.
Drill that down.
He's the one word guy. Got it. One word, because he's a catalyst.
Well, in a way, I would think it makes your business easier too, right? Because you just like a rinse and repeat of like, this is what I do. Like you said, it sort of informs everything you put out.
Yeah, it's hard to it's hard to get people to like, what do you really do? But once you get them on the Zoom, you've got them.
Yeah.
But the way to get them is, what do you consistently every single day want to be known for? You can't be known for 25 things, because you're going to have 25 different answers.
Right.
One thing. And that's really hard for people. I don't want to be known. Well, you have to.
I don't want to pigeonhole myself. I think that's one of the biggest things with entrepreneurs, because I think it's 2 things. I don't want to niche down, because then I will lose business.
Right.
And then I think the other piece is obviously everyone, and understandably so, is concerned when they go out on their own or start a company of any kind. Like, I need to make money eventually, right? So how would you say doing this process, identifying one word, helps you to do that? Like, how do you translate this for people into, this is going to help your bottom line, this is going to help you feel more confident and sell more widgets?
Yeah. I always tell people, don't let your niche define your brand.
Mm-hmm.
And people look at me and I say to them, you don't want to just work with elderly people. You don't just want to work with kids. I work with entrepreneurs. I work with business leaders, high school students, and college students. You can argue, wow, but you're not focused.
Yeah.
Yes, I am, because I don't let my niche drive my brand. I let my platform drive my brand. So unfortunately, look at brands that are $1 billion out there. What are they known for? Spanx is known for one thing, slimmer in seconds.
Yeah.
They sculpt your body in seconds. They have 100 different items. So I try to bring the model of brands that are successful. Apple has 1 million products. They're known for one thing. Their core value is simplicity.
Yep.
Okay, they make effortless technology. How? Effortless. Why? Because they're simple. So what I try to tell people is, don't look at your one word core value as restricting, which I love that question when people share with me, because I'm able to take my Catalyst core value, my one word platform, and everyone needs a word.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I don't let my niche drive. I let myself known for the platform. I come off of every stage. You could speak to 5 different groups I talk to. They're all going to say, oh yeah, he's the one word guy.
I think that's really impactful, because so if I say I work with women.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm sitting home thinking about, what do women want? And I'm going to develop this product or service for women, versus I'm a results-driven coach and I can help women specifically because of XYZ. I could help other groups as well, but that's my brand. I'm not disrupting that.
Right.
It's like songwriters will say, or music, they'll say, I don't want to think about what people want. I just want to do what I do. And then whoever it resonates with, it resonates with.
And if you have a certain philosophy and a process and you brand it that leads people to their results, boom, all of a sudden that process goes everywhere.
Yeah.
I'll give you another example I use on stage a lot. I talk a lot about brands on stage because that's really where I came from, and that's how people get it. Taylor Swift is a billionaire on her one word, storytelling. Every single song has a story of hers. The thread is story. The compass is, if every song has a story, it's going to win. If she launches a song without a story, consumers are going to go, I may like it for a month, but where's the story?
Yeah.
That's not her. Boom.
Yeah.
And so I really try to help people understand what's the thread to tell your story, core value, you give it away. And then what's the compass in the future that everything I do that catalyzes, I'm going to be much happier versus being what I did after college for 5 years, accounting. I was miserable. It wasn't in line.
You were an accountant?
Yes, it wasn't in line with my core. I didn't know then. That's why I'm so passionate about this, because if what you do aligns with who you are, you're going to be much happier and more financially successful.
Yeah. So how does that happen? So somebody has, I know it's not a magic formula, but somebody has their one word, they're really defined, they know what they're doing. Is it just that you would say, well, intuitively, that's going to impact your bottom line? Is there more to it than that?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, recently, about a year ago, I worked with a client, college kid, and this person's word was unflappable.
Oh.
I come up with very unique words, by the way.
Yeah, that's not one you hear every day.
Yeah, Shannon, your word's love.
Yeah.
Unflappable. And it came out of the work we did. It came out of the story. And you know what? This person called me the next day and said, "You're not going to believe this." I said, "What?" She goes, "I looked up in AI on ChatGPT 25 jobs that enhance that want the unflappable."
Yeah.
And she said, "You changed my world. I can't believe it." And that's it.
Oh, I've got to do that. I want to go into ChatGPT.
We live in a world of AI.
Yeah.
But AI was able to help this person.
Help her visualize, really. Yeah.
Because this is a person, they're unflappable. Nothing phases them. They're great in emergency situations. They're great in situations like jumping off cliffs or hang glide, And I have to tell you, I hung the phone up and I went, this process works. And that gave me the confidence because this person called me and was able, and now is directing what they do, hopefully, is in alignment with who they are.
Yeah.
Bottom line, financial success goes up and happiness, and we're done.
Yeah. Well, and I think it seems off the bat to me that it's easier to see this process for an entrepreneur and for college kids based on the stories that you've told. How do you help people in, let's say, the corporate space? I mean, we've all heard about personal brand these days, but if someone says, "Well, I've been at the same company for 10 years, I don't need a personal brand, Rich. Like, I'm fine, I'm not going anywhere." What would you say?
I love that. I work with some companies today.
Yeah.
I help business leaders navigate the corporate ladder. So sometimes you do have to take a job in a company.
Mm-hmm.
You got to take one for the team. Totally agree.
Yeah.
But one thing I didn't do in my professional career that I now hopefully impart on others, when you get your performance review, explain to them who you are. Tell them the jobs that you think will make the company successful. Remember, you give your core value to the world. And I help business leaders understand that, oh, I'm a catalyst. I think I need to tell them that I'm good in innovation, I'm good in disrupting, I'm good at creativity.
Right, so it aligns.
Sometimes I'll have to be in the accounting department for 4 months, fine.
Right.
You take one for the team. But now all of a sudden my boss says, and I've heard this from people I work with, I know everybody on my team, what their core value is and how best to place them so that I don't have 5 catalysts on the team. And I know that sounds crazy. Some people may be listening and go, yeah, whatever, but it works.
Yeah.
Take action. We are responsible for ourselves and what we put out in the world. So I help business leaders share, just like high school kids when they are ready to get their recommenders for their college application. Go tell your teacher about you. I know they've been in class with you, but they have 100 other people to write about. They want to know what you're about. Yes. And if you pick the right coach, let's say, as the third recommender, in my program, they have to get 5 people to write about them. That coach wrote about how great you are, your core value. And they go, oh my God, I have a recommender now. So it just opens them up to realizing what their value is without any external title, letters, talent. And that, I have to tell you, I've had grown men cry on my Zoom because they don't believe that they have inside of them what they need, their magic.
Right.
One word. And then it allows them to go do things that align with who they are.
It's very validating, I would imagine, and eye-opening. I also think we might have talked about this previously. I've said for years, like, self-awareness is the number one characteristic, feature, whatever you want to call it, that is lacking, right, for people. And in HR, we see it all the time. Yeah. And I feel like this is a program or an approach that can really help people do that, right? And probably feel good both sides, because now you're like, you know what, this job isn't right for me because I'm a catalyst and I'm really restricted here. And or the other way, this is my perfect job. This is what I'm meant to do.
One quick story, my wife's father, who I love dearly, thought I was crazy when I quit my career. Absolutely lost my mind. All the years I've been doing this. And he listened to my TED Talk event finally. And I didn't know this, but in the airport one summer, about a year or two ago, he gave me my workbook. He printed it offline and he gave it to me in the airport. I think I need to know my one word now. And I said, oh. So I put it on the side for about 6 months. So my wife's mother, I call them mom and dad, called me and said, when are you ever going to give your father his one word? And I said, you know what? Thanksgiving's coming up. We all get together. I'm going to read his book. And I made her do it as well. Long story short, I give everybody a buff when they're done with me and they have their word on their buff.
That's the story of the buff too, I guess.
Sort
of.
Okay,
we'll get to that.
And then at the end, at Thanksgiving, I didn't tell anybody his word except my wife. And I gave them their buffs, my parents, at the table. And I had this video. And my father, he didn't do the exercises to get to his one word at the time. I do everything now, but at the time I had my clients do it. And he said, before I open this up, true story, I think I know what my one word is. And he goes, I've been really thinking about this. Your TED Talk was great. You know, I said, great. He goes, I think my one word is methodical. And he opened up his buff and that was his word. True story. And you know why? Because in the workbook, I was able to bring him down and find the thread. Yeah. And everybody at the table.
That's wild.
They thought it was, oh my God, that is definitely methodical. But I have it on video. I was like, oh my God,
that's
this thing
crazy.
worked.
You're like, nailed it.
There you go. And you know what? Because the people that do the work with me in the workbook, that they basically give me a diary and I'm looking for the thread.
Or just looking what keeps showing up. And it's easier for you to see it, I'm sure, many times if someone hasn't come to grips with that.
I would say 95% of the time I get to a word that they didn't think of, but then they go, no one's ever looked at me and said, no way.
What are you talking about? Yeah.
Because they've done the work. I just zhuzh it into the magician.
The word.
Yeah. So I have to tell you, because my wife's father now is a believer. He sends me podcasts. That's all I really wanted. I wanted him to know, like, that is, I wasn't sitting around for all these years. He says, what the hell are you doing?
He's a believer.
Yeah.
Well, it is good work because you're really giving people a gift, I think, in many cases, right?
Absolutely.
That they maybe knew was there, maybe didn't have the confidence to see it, or...
I give kids the confidence to identify and pursue opportunities that align with who they are in the future.
Well, so great at that age too.
It's
yeah.
beyond college. My son got into college, but he now has this compass.
Yep.
Which is the whole point of the one word as well.
For the foundation for his life.
And to go look at opportunities and go, is that going to allow me to be a perseverer? He's a consultant today. Thank God he didn't go into accounting like he originally maybe thought. I'm like, no, because accounting is one and done. Consulting, you problem solve.
And it's so simple. Like, this is so simple.
Yeah.
There's so many assessments out there. I've taken them all and given them all probably over the years. And some are good. But, it's like, the words that people use or the formulas or the acronyms. Yeah. This is a very simple approach. I love it. And I could talk about it all day. As we wrap up, I have to ask about the buff. Because I don't think I've ever seen you without the survivor buff that you have on your head. So
sometimes I have no hair on there. By choice. Really quickly, I'll tell you this. I mean, it's a deeper story, but I grew up in a very challenged home. I grew up invisible. Pretty much. And there's a long story behind that. And when I was a teenager, I used to wear bandanas. And when I didn't wear them, people would walk by me and I'm like, hello. And they're like, oh my God, where's your bandana? And what I learned through therapy was, as I was a teenager, I was looking to become visible. And people would remember me by
your bandana.
And then fast forward, I'm a cancer survivor, 31 years.
Oh, wow.
I had testicular cancer at 26.
Oh, my gosh.
And right after I was fine, 31 years later, the show Survivor came on. And I'm a cancer survivor. I started wearing the buff. And once again, when I would go to weddings without the buff, where's your buff? Where's the survivor buff? And it's become a trademark.
It's become your thing.
But I will also tell you on stage, one of the things I'll leave the interview with is, what you do is not who you are. but who you are drives what you do. So if you see me, what I do is I point to my head. What you do is in your head. I thought I was a survivor all these years. My identity was survivor. My identity was MBA, marketer, brander.
Yeah.
So what you do is not who you are. I did survivorship. Who you are, my one word, close to my heart. Who you are drives what you do.
I love that.
And I will also tell you that one of the things that everyone should be understanding is what's your trademarks to some degree. Whenever I go to a conference, my buff is on, people tap me. You've been on the show?
Yeah.
No, but come to my talk and I'll tell you, and I share my story. And there is a subliminal way of what do you want to be known for? And really quickly, my TEDx team almost did not allow me to wear my buff on stage. And I said, well, I can't do the TED Talk.
Really?
Behind the scenes, because this is my trademark. I couldn't have my TED Talk out globally.
Right.
And then they're like, who's that guy with the bald head?
Right.
And once they understood that this was something that is a trademark of mine or something that's part of my story, they said, oh, absolutely. But you have to educate people.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting.
So there's a lot of facets of why, but really it makes me visible. And I grew up invisible. So.
Well, it's funny because you and I met virtually. And for the longest time, I thought that was your word. I'm like, well, I guess. Why else would you be wearing this thing? So that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, this has been, like I said, I could keep talking to you forever. Where can people get in touch with you if they want to know more about your program?
Absolutely. I'll share 3 places. Number 1, LinkedIn. Just type in Rich Keller, the Catalyst. I come up.
Amazing.
Number 2, my website, therichkeller.com. And richkeller.com was taken, so it has to be therichkeller.com.
That sounds more.
And number 3, watch my TED Talk. It's on my homepage, and I guarantee you, reach out to me after that. You'll be wondering, what is my one word?
What's my word?
Because everybody has a word, and my mentor to this day said, it's a contagious idea. People are going to feel left out, and I've been in groups where one person doesn't know the word and the other 3 do, and they're like, I need to figure out my one word, and I'm here to help because nothing lights me up more than when people discover who they are.
Well, I'm sitting here going, does he know what my word is? Does he have a feeling of what my word is? I don't know.
What I tell people is I'm not Teresa Caputo. I don't speak to the dead. People think on the Zoom when they do a 30-minute that you're not gonna tell me my word.
Yeah.
No, I'd have a Netflix show if I could.
Yeah. You're like, you need to fill out the worksheet.
But I will tell you, you have a one word, and by the way, you're born with it, so you're gonna go, oh my God, you're right. And I bring it to the top so that you can leverage it.
Okay.
And you can put it out in the world because everybody gives away something to make the world better. And for me, it's your one word. I help people simplify down to who they are.
Right.
Clarity. And I really want to thank you for having me.
This was fantastic. I love having you. You're so much fun.
Well, you're a good friend.
Yes.
So, it's not going to end here.
This was great. Thank you so much, Rich. And we are out, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to True HR Beyond the Office. We hope today's episode inspired new ways for you to find fulfillment and purpose in your personal and professional life. If you found value in our conversation, let's keep it going. Follow us on social media and visit us at ShannonClarkJohnston.com to explore free tools, resources, and more about our speaking, coaching, and consulting services.